Hi there, good morning. My name is L, but you might know that. And this video might look a bit cinematic, but that's the whole purpose of it. This video is recorded on the Sony ZV-E1 with either the 7Artisans T2.9 40mm lens or the Samyang 40mm f2.8 lens. And this video is all about honesty and raw opinions, because it is you and me as a consumer that are paying a large amount of money to get these things that people market out there, being paid by companies and any of that, even telling lies and stuff that doesn't happen when we buy it. That I think it's my whole sole goal to give you that real opinion in there and just the output of the stuff we expect. Today's video is a comparison between the 7Artisans 40mm cinematic lens T2.9 steps versus the Samyang 40mm f2.8 steps, which is not a cinematic lens, but it's a super wide lens. This video will be recorded on both. I will show you like versus modes, the same kind of field of view, if possible, on the same spots. And let's just get started with it. Minimum focus distance. Well, of course, the minimal focus distance is pretty important when you want to have subjects in your foreground with, let's say, a strong bokeh in the background. And the closer you get to that subject, the better, I would say, in my opinion. The filter thread. This is one of the most important things in my opinion, because if you're not able to protect the lens, then you're in for some trouble right there. The 7Artisans has an 85mm filter thread, so you could clearly just put a filter on there to protect the lens. That's the first case. What more? It not only protects the lens, but it gives you so much flexibility of using CPL filters and any kind of stuff that you want to use, which would make your post time or post-production time lesser and more effective. You wouldn't need to use stuff in the back end. So having the stuff being done in camera, in the recording, is a lot friendlier to me, like user-friendly, than having a non-filter thread, which can damage the lens and does not give you that flexibility of using CPL or UV filters for that matter. Then there's the weight. Of course the weight matters. I mean, for me, a circumstance where I'd be on a mountain 3,000 meters up, higher, any of that, you want to have something light. So having a lighter lens would be better, at least for me. What are the differences? Let me read them out. So we got the 7Artisans at 730 grams versus the Samyang at 484 grams. There's the difference. Then there's the autofocus feature. Of course, it's always more convenient to have the choice between manual and autofocus than to not have it. Of course, we're talking about a cine lens, which typically don't have that. But as a run and gun type of lens, I mean, in my case, I would love to have that option to switch between not so much wind, like now. I would love to have that option between a manual or autofocus mode anytime, just because it's that extra option. Here's a clip that totally didn't go as planned because I was out of focus, obviously, recorded on the 7Artisans. And now we're getting to the last part of the video, which is flares. I love flares and I wish to have flares on my lens. So the 7Artisans has a pretty predominant flare in there, which would make sense for a cinematic lens. It looks kind of round, kind of beautiful, kind of full. With the Samyang, you might not get the same result. I've read some stuff online about it still having some flare in there, but not as much as the 7Artisans. Now, that might be on purpose, makes sense. More people, or I think that the market is made that way, that people don't like flares. You could do it in post, you could add a flare, but for me, it's something natural. It should be there in your movie, in your film, in your recording. So I would opt for something, or I would like something that has more of the flare going on than not. So in this comparison, I hope to get some flare. I'm not sure, we might do it today, or right now, or in the evening using some candles or whatever, but I hope to catch some flares, show you the differences between the two. And after that, we're gonna get to some more examples. Okay, now we're gonna try to have the same kind of flares going on. I did see a flare, so let's see. There you go. There's the flare. You see that? This is predominantly happening on a lot of wind on the 7Artisans. This is what I mean. This is just beautiful, super beautiful. So there you go. Okay, now let's do the same thing with the 7Artisans. Starting at knee high. There we go. Moving in slowly. There you go. And this is about the limit as far as I can see. See the bridge in the background. Now I got a hand length in between, which was way less with the Samyang. But how's the result? How does it look? The third test will be done on these moving plants right here. We might take the left one. And there you go. Super close, almost touching the lens, as you can see. So this is pretty beautiful, pretty dramatic. Taking 3 steps. So 1, 2, 3. Getting slowly in here. And I hope this is somewhat of a focus somewhere. Too sunny out here. This is the 5th focus on this bush right here. There you go. Wow, that's a lot of wind. And the 6th test will be out here. These beautiful brown leaves, orange. That's it. So until now, I noticed that I missed buttons on the Samyang and I missed the aperture ring on the Samyang. However, it wouldn't mean that something is better or the one lens is better than the other. Yes, it's lighter and more compact. Well, actually, it's a bit longer than a 7Artisans, but it's lighter and more compact. But you'd have to understand that cinematic lenses are bigger or heavier. They're made that way. The glass is way better. The build is better. You know, they have the rings out there for the rigs and all sorts of things. It's not your typical run and gun out there. Also, how's my focus doing? I hope I did it correctly. This is manual focus. Again, 7Artisans. If it's bad, the recording is bad. And to be honest, I'm still figuring out what I'm going to do because I like the Samyang. It is shorter, has the autofocus, has the option in there, but I'm missing that vintage look that I want to have. You know, I want to have that cinematic look. I want to have the flares, but the lens is heavier, does not have autofocus. So I'm still struggling around to know what I will do. Now, the important thing is that I'm looking at the whole picture. I want to know what's happening. You know, I don't want to spend too much time in post-process with, let's say, adding a flare or dramatizing the flare that I got out there. I don't want to use like more filters on it. I would love to have CPL filter on there. You know, I would like to use that. I like to minimize my workflow so that it doesn't take too long, as you know, time is money. These are things that I'm thinking about. And for the moment, I might be leaning towards the Samyang, just looking at the future, but I'm not quite sure there, or yet, because there are so many things to keep in mind, and I want to have the best option for me. We got to the conclusion of this particular video right here, and I might show you something else, something different soon, which is, you'll see. For now, let's keep in touch and talk to you on the next one. Peace out. That's how wide it is. This is the view from up here, and there's the flare. I just love that flare. Literally, super cool. Wow. Oh my God, that's so cool. Literally walking right now. Using dynamic mode right now. Let me do a crazy shot like this one. This is another walking example. I just want to find out if the weird, I don't know if it's a rolling shutter, but the weird thing is happening. Oh cool, check out that plane over there. Let's check it out. Check this out. There's the flare again. There you go. And now I can switch up the T. There you go. Turns into a star right now. See that? It's a star. Okay, check out this recording, done on purpose. There you go. We're going up. Let the flare hit up. That's about a spot. You see that? Beautiful flare going on. We lost it. We're going back now. Not a flare.